Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay, please. Sound effects will be provided by my dog Abel today, who is demonstrating nutty senior dog behavior for us all. And let's see. Okay, so this will be a group energy healing where I am healing 130 people in 13 different countries. Well, 14 because somebody didn't tell me they were traveling, actually, but so that's even cooler. There's 14, not 13 countries. But anyway, so the theme of this healing will be family boundaries, strong family boundaries. Yay, yay, yay. But also, it'll help with everything. Which sounds like, how could that be? I mean, it won't help with everything, but it could help with anything, is sort of the thing. Because, we unblock all the chakras and all that good stuff. We do lots of repair of, so it could have, wide-ranging positive effects. So even if you think your boundaries with your family is just fine, it is very worthwhile anyway. Because part of what we're doing has to do with like empowerment, and just getting on with your life. So that's nice. So thank you everyone for your surveys. You were fabulous in providing endless food for thought, even without trying. So that's peachy. Ooh, I got a confirmation. Thank you. Can see and hear you in Chicago, 83 and stormy. Ooh, Chicago can do some dramatic summer storms. We are, meh. We're kind of chilly, which is fabulous for gardening and for putting seedlings in the ground that don't like heat when they're little babies. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, we're maybe 60s right now. A little chilly. And cloudy, which is also perfect for seedlings that have just been planted. I'm sure everyone else is like, 60s and cloudy, what the heck? But I'm like, whoa, thank you. But anyway, okay, so healthy family boundaries, this is going to be huge. Huge, huge, huge. This is the third in a set of 3, and in like 5 days. Not like 5 days, 5 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, in 5 days. The twin set starts, and that's a set of 2 healings, also on the same theme, strong family boundaries. Coolness. But anyway, but surveys, thank you so much for them. I'm going to keep doing that thing where I say write something silly if you want. There was like a question where I had to say something, but then I was just like, it wasn't really a question, so then I was like, well, if you want, write something silly. And I write something short and silly. So then I put like a short little box for people to write if they wanted. And that was good because I cracked up a couple times as I was reading surveys, which doesn't happen that much otherwise. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'll like put a silly question in that you could skip if you want, but I'm going to keep doing that. It's always good to have laughter. Okay, so there was, as I said, the surveys provided so much good food for thought, and sort of gone over 2 different versions of what I'm going to do today. So this is sort of it has evolved. And so I have a definite list, and then I have like a pretty big maybe list. So there's that. But my definite list has to do with healing inner child. Definitely that. I don't want to trigger too much about it. Yeah, okay, I'll give a little hint. So part of the thing with family members, even like partners, you know, even like extended family of your partner, if you interact with them. I think parts of your inner child can, and this may be just subconscious, of course, but parts of your inner child can be stuck in wanting love and approval. And that can complicate things unnecessarily. You know, now that you're able to give yourself healings, you can heal these parts of you that want love and approval from other people. And therefore, you don't have to be kind of thrown off when people in your life are not able to give you the level of love and approval that you need and or want. And then we will also work on clarity and, you know, just unblocking and getting neutrality with, you know, are the people in your life able to give you the level of love and approval that you want? Because it could be that your entire genetic family is, you know, woefully incapable of giving you the love and approval that you want. And so you can kind of come to terms with that. You know, once you actually heal those parts of your inner child, so there's not that, you know, dire need, then you could just work on non-judgment and letting people be who they are, and moving on with your life. You know, with them, without them, in some rare cases, but you know, that way you're more clear-headed about it all, and you're not so triggered by everything. So that's going to be a big part of the healing. Maybe not a long part, but a major part of the healing today. We'll be, you know, working that whole thing. There will also be a part about boundary issues with other people. We do standard boundary issue stuff, like where, okay, people are courting your blocked energy, and so you just clear your energy blocks so they can't cord them anymore, and then poof, they're not in your space. You know, repairing damage, like damaged chakras, damaged auras, so therefore, you know, people can't just waltz into your space so easily. But sometimes it's like you've done all the basics and you still have a boundary issue, like with your mom or your ex, some guy you had a fling with, or, you know, somebody else, you know, roommate, blah, blah, blah. And it could be that they're courting your inner wounds. That's like, it's like it feels like like they're under your skin. You know that expression? So, so it's easy to melt the inner wounds that these people are courting, and then they can't court them. And so you can just keep doing that. So sometimes if you have real stubborn boundary issues with people, that's what they're doing. They're courting your inner wounds. And wounds are different than blocks. Blocks are like piles of stuck hardness on an energy level. Wounds are like something's ripped, you know, within you. So they're easy to heal. You just imagine them like slashes and melt them away with gold light, and the inner rips repair. So, but if someone's courting the rip, it's like, you know, putting a finger in your wound, you know, it's like, oh. So we don't want that. So, but that's super easy to deal with. But I had noticed a lot, that was sort of a recurring theme in the surveys, people having boundary issues because someone was courting their inner wounds. So, fun fact that we will work in today's healing. Another thing that I felt when reading a whole bunch of people's surveys was Mogi, be good. We only have 2 cats now, and still they fight. I don't understand these people whose cats actually get along all the time and cuddle all the time. It's like, I don't know. What's up with that? How is that even possible? But anyway, Mokimo. Living your life. I noticed some people like study themselves, study other people rather than just living their lives. Um, and some people wait and they wait and they wait. Kind of like maybe they're waiting for their parents' permission, maybe they're waiting for to feel ready or strong enough or whatever. So there's this sort of thing where you're either studying or you're waiting, or so there's some like delay that's sort of like um false in a way, like you don't actually need the delay. Unnecessary, maybe. Unnecessary delays. Living your life, we touched on it, I want to say, I forget if it was last set or the set before that, but it was very recent. Yeah, the June twin set. No, yeah, the June twin set. Jump into your life with both feet. That was that same idea, but I noticed it again this time. It's like, and I think that's part of how people have boundary issues with others, and they, especially family members, but with could be with other people too. If you're not living your life, you tend to like blame other people for that. Like, resent your parents because you're not living your life, or resent your coworkers or your job or whatever. So the idea is, let's clear the fear, because typically it's fear-based, deep, the underlying thing is fear. And that's why you're just not jumping in and living your life. And obviously you are living, but you know what I mean? There's like this sort of, there are levels of engagement with your everyday experience and the issues and the problems that are in your life. And there's a way that you can sort of, put off so much and kind of table it and be like, whatever, that doesn't make sense, that freaks me out, and then you're not really fully living your life. Maybe you're just waiting, or you're just studying, like, I need to understand this better. A perfect example actually was in somebody's survey, although I did see this in a bunch of people, but one person just put it into words in such a useful way. They said it was about the clearing resistance to what you need to learn, which we did in the first and the second healing of this set, where you just imagine the tasks that you're meant to learn, the lessons that you're meant to learn right now that would really be good for you to learn right now. And a lot of them are kind of overdue lessons you've been avoiding, and it'd be so much better if you just learned them now. Right? And that person was like, well, I've been thinking about that a lot, trying to figure out what lessons that I'm avoiding, or that I'm not learning, or that I'm supposed to learn right now. And the thing is, I mean, it doesn't have to be a negative to analyze yourself, to think about yourself, to examine your patterns of what you're doing, right? But sometimes that can become that whole thing of studying your life versus living it. Like, oh, I'm trying to figure out, what lessons that I need to learn right now. Versus with energy healing, you don't need the analysis part, like 97% of the time. So you can just clear your resistance. You can just imagine metaphorically, as scrolls of paper, or as paper, or whatever, flowers, however you want to imagine these lessons that you're meant to learn right now, and then run gold light through them. And as you're running gold light through them, that is you facing your lessons and clearing resistance, because gold clears resistance. And so you are acknowledging, okay, these lessons are here, they exist, and I'm running gold light through them, and so I'm clearing my resistance. And so that is the process of learning your lessons right there. There's no like 10 hours of journaling required. There's no, 10 years of therapy required. Although, sometimes therapy is nice and useful. But this is an example of how with energy healing, you can skip the analysis part. And it's not that you'll never have clarity. It's that hindsight's 20/20. There's that expression in English. Hindsight is 20/20. And what that means is that once you're over an issue, it's much easier to realize, like, oh my gosh, I used to really do that, man. I was so, this and that. So once you're like at least 2/3 of the way through clearing something, then it's so much easier to realize like what you're in the middle of. And so you tend to grow a lot faster if you just use energy healing, clear the blocks, and keep going, move forward. Just let your angels hold your hands and just move forward. So I hope that makes sense. So it's like you just clear your resistance to the lessons you're meant to learn. You run Go Light through them, and you are learning them. You are, that's the process. That's all you have to do. And then just, live a healthy day, have sleep, live the next day. Do it on and off, periodically. Just run Go Light through the lessons that you're meant to learn. Just acknowledge, hey, I have lessons I'm meant to learn. I'm not resisting. Here we go. Gold light, yada, yada. Bam. That way you're living your life. You're not, because sometimes that reflection is not like as you're doing it. It's okay, let me wait and sit by the sidelines and just study things. And it tends to be not like, 1 hour a year. It tends to be, this is a consistent pattern. Like, sort of like I'm afraid of, part of me is dying for personal growth, right? But the other part of me is afraid of it and is like stopping the whole process, being like, wait, we need to study this. So that's the idea, is let's clear the fear so that you don't have to wait for no reason, and you don't have to study things in a way that, halts progress. So part of that is clearing fear, and part of that is inner child healing too. The waiting can be inner child. I was seeing that in a bunch of people. Like, it could be that you started waiting for your parents' permission to do something when you were 3 or when you were 4. Like, all of a sudden you got these bursts of energy and your parents were like, no, when you're older you can do that, but right now, you have to come in and take a bath. And so you were waiting for permission to have fun or to do this project or whatever, and it just kind of got frozen in your, part of you got stuck waiting for your parents' your parents' permission to live your life. And so we'll handle that also as part of the inner child stuff. It's like to stop waiting and actually live your life. So, sort of a circular concept. So there's that. So that's the definite list. The maybe list, there's some good stuff that we did in the last healing that, certainly could be repeated, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll read my sample, people, and see if what we're doing today is more powerful and makes the other stuff unnecessary for today, or we could squeeze some of it in and that would help. We'll see. But we did do, in case you missed it consciously, somebody, we did remove astral body devices that were in really key places that can cause significant boundary issues. And often those, and I only after the healing I remembered, well, the day after, actually yesterday, I remembered, like, astral recall, what the angels wanted me to call those devices. They wanted me to call them pressure point devices, because they're not all like, big metal machinery looking things. Sometimes they're just like blocks that are strategically in like, say, in the back of your skull. You could have like 5 little piles of hard energy in your astral body in the back of your skull there, and that creates a pressure point device where somebody, a person or being, could cord all that and run all their energy through all 5 of those points and just kind of like, as a pressure point device. It causes you to pop out potentially, or it just causes you to stay present and be like, man, my head is tight. So those are pressure point devices. I didn't have that name before. I just called them energy blocks or devices because they're not all, you know, like a continuous metallic hard object. They can be just like hard buttons sort of in strategic places, but multiple ones that a being or a person can sort of cord all at once. So anyway, we did some really good ones with that. Back of skull, shoulders, and back of skull, base of skull, I mean, and around the hips, like the belt area. If you had like a loose fitting belt that kind of rested around your hips and like sloped forward a little bit, that area is a meridian. It's a special meridian that just goes around there in traditional Chinese medicine. So I'll probably refer to it as the belt meridian, but I think if you Google it, you know, it might be listed as like girdle meridian, but girdle is like, nobody says girdle. Like girdle means something totally different, so I think that is a weird name for it. But anyway, I'm sure the Chinese name for it's very cool, but that's not that approachable for me, so I'm just gonna call it the belt meridian. But anyway, that belt area, that is an area where you can, well, okay, so that belt meridian in traditional Chinese medicine, it, if you Google the purpose of that, and maybe you'd have to, I don't know if it would come up if you said belt meridian, you might have to do girdle meridian, say girdle meridian. But anyway, it's where you, in traditional Chinese medicine, it stores a lot of your repressed issues that you are trying to avoid. So that's cool. I mean, it's not cool to repress all that stuff, but it's cool to know that there's a specific meridian where those might be deposited. Because then, you know, you can keep your mind healthy and gentle though, but you can work on getting flow around your belt meridian. Yeah, you know, just work on, you know, but then you can have belt meridian devices where, like, say in your astral body in particular, physical body too maybe, but I don't know, they tend to be more in the astral body, it seems. So like you could have a hard belt basically from, say, your dad or somebody else who was very restrictive in this life or a past life in that area. And so what that does is it makes it even harder for you to have good flow in that area. So it makes it more likely that you're going to have, you know, just sensitive issues that are recurring that you're not clearing because you don't have good flow in your belt meridian area, your belt area. That's what I'll call it. So we worked that because you can have devices that not only are in the belt meridian area, the belt area, but also that connect to the first chakra. And that's a real doozy because then you have these recurring baggage kind of issues, repressed issues basically, and they also trigger fear and panic because they're corded to your first chakra and they jam that up too. So it's like then you have these, you know, recurring fears that don't go away, that, you know, maybe you repress them for a while, but then they get triggered again, then you repress them for a while, and then they get triggered again. And then it's, you know, the device in that area is corded to your first chakra too. So it's like you're freaking out at the same time. So you can have just belt area devices or just belt area stagnation, or you can also have, you know, devices that connect it to your first chakra. So then, you know, you're kind of too freaked out to deal with it, potentially. But hopefully over time you realize fear is just, you know, something going on with your first chakra and or first layer, and then you can deal with it. But anyway, so that was super cool. And that was in the last healing. We did about 6 minutes on the belt area, removing devices that are in the belt area and the first chakra of the astral body. So that definitely helped some people to be able to be more courageous and have better boundaries. One or two people, at least one person had some of their recurring issues kind of more come to mind, which is not unheard of for that person because they are recurring issues and they do keep coming up. But I think part of that is, yeah, the belt area. You know, if you just get more flow around the belt area, then you can actually melt away the blocks that are in there rather than just like numbing out to them and then they keep coming back. So just, you know, say your belt area is like, you know, 70% blocked and then 30% there's flow. So you want to just to healthy and gentle amount, but you know, you can maybe melt half of that, you know, with gold light and then just do the rest on another day. But, you know, keep checking it because probably there's more there that, you know, you just weren't ready to deal with that day, you know, so it's an overtime kind of thing. But anyway, so that's a maybe pile, but I just wanted to reference it in case we don't do it today, then you know that the second healing had that in it. Pressure point devices. Didn't call it pressure point devices though then. I called it just astral devices and I listed base of skull, shoulders, neck, hips, first chakra. But that stuff is good. But we will be clearing fear energy blocks today too, so for sure, so that you can live your life more fully and less hesitation, less waiting, less studying versus taking action. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say in the intro. I will glance at some comments and then we'll do the quiet time, and then I'll start the healing. There's no Q&A at the end. I'll just like read how people feel, you know, if you want to post how the healing was for you. But if you have a question, you can post it under any video at any time. It doesn't have to be the perfect video of mine relating to your question. just post it under any video. Okay, someone says hello from sunny Belgrade, Serbia. Thank you. Oh, and you're right in both temperature systems. How nice for you. How nice of you. 34 Celsius, 93 Fahrenheit. Wow, wow, wow. Little hot. Someone says, LOL, studying versus living life. I needed to hear that. Yeah. No, I think it's a really common thing. And I think it relates to people's resentment of their family members too, because it's like, you're not sure how they're holding you back, but you know they kind of are. And so it's like, it just makes you that much more irritable about them, you know? And then because you don't have the non-judgment sort of clarity, it screws your boundaries with them. And so it's just sort of, you know, so we'll work all that. Someone says, whoa, I'm very excited to work on this studying versus living. I can see how this will help with anxiety. Yes. Yeah, because part of the best way to help your boundaries is just to live your life. If you just live your life, then you're kind of, it creates flow. It creates so much engagement with you as a soul that it's a natural protection. I mean, it's not perfect, of course, but it's like you're just too busy, you know, doing your thing to be stopped. It's like you get a momentum. You know, if you're already hesitating, you're already stopping yourself, then it's really easy for someone to roadblock you. So, yeah. There you go. The funny thing is, you know, some people's families make them, you know, not live their life, you know, like they make themselves, like the effect of your family may make you, you know, wait and stop and not live your life. But it could be that depending on, you know, who raised you and all that in this life and past lives and yada yada, it could be that the effect of your family makes you feel like you have to get everything done in a day. And recently I wrote down, you don't have to get everything done in one day, which Lorenzo told me. And I wrote it down like on our dry erase board where we write down when the dogs go to the bathroom outside and what they do outside. I wrote that down. You know, you don't have to get everything done in one day. And it could be that that is a sort of a compulsion that you feel because of how you were raised in this life or a past life. So while we clear fear so you don't let your family like hold you back and make you stop and wait for somebody else's permission, we'll also do the opposite of that and look at if you have some blocks and dumped energy in your space that cause you to feel like it's a race and you have to do everything today. So that's nice. We'll be working both ends of the extreme. So you don't have to do everything in one day. Quote from Lorenzo Ross, my husband. So we'll clear blocks about being compulsive and sort of guilt-based and feeling like, you know, it's a race. Because, you know, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, in the second healing, I was talking about, I think the example was about people that drive motorcycles, and sometimes some of those people just have their moms in their space or somebody in their space who's trying to get them to be very, very, very mainstream, and this is their sort of resistance reaction to that, is to do the polar opposite of what that person is trying to force them to do or be, right? And so with you don't have to do everything in one day, if you have someone kind of compulsive in your space trying to make you like rush, hurry, do it all, hurry, then you might want to do the opposite and just do nothing, you know, like binge Netflix all day or something. And that might be really enjoyable, but partially because you're just trying to do the opposite of what this compulsive person in your space wants you to do. The compulsive person in your space wants you to do everything now and yesterday. You know, you should have done it all yesterday, right? So if you have that person in your space versus just clearing them out, if you just cleared them out, you might actually be pretty productive, but it would be, you know, at your own pace, and, you know, you'd be able to stop if you need to and do a lot if you want to, and, you know, it would be just you know. So anyway, long story short, that's on the definite list also. So I need to stop talking because this list is getting longer and I'm talking up all the time. Today's tea is a new tea. It's apricot decaf black. Slight concern that maybe the apricot flavoring is not all natural. Not 100% sure about that. But anyway, I'm drinking it. So, and there's a fig at the bottom, like a dried fig at the bottom, you know, so that the hot water cooks it. So I'm not eating a raw fig. Although at this time of year, sometimes I can have limited amounts of raw. But anyway, and then it kind of flavors the tea because some of the juices from the fig gets out into the tea. And then you have the fig at the end. It's nice. Figs are apparently like really good for you in traditional Chinese medicine. My big blue book that talks about food information as it relates to Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, is like sings the praise of figs. So I try to have a fig a day in my tea. They say it's like really, I think alkalinizing. They said it's like the most alkalinizing food you could possibly eat. It is high in sugar, so I only have one a day, but anyway. Okay, enough talking. So now I will be quiet. I hope you enjoy that part. I do. Oh, can you give this live stream a thumbs up if you like it, if you want? I'm not trying to, you know, force anybody, but it does help. Okay, so I'll be quiet for about 3 minutes as I finish my prep, and then begin the healing in silence for a minute, and then I'll start talking, and the rest of the healing is a walkthrough. As I'm healing, I'm saying out loud what I do, and you could use that as a walkthrough to heal yourself if you wish. Oh, and just a quick announcement, in 4 days, which is Saturday, the September healings are going up for sale on my website, janetwrightreadings.com. So you can look there and see what time they're going to go up and get ready for that if you wish to purchase. Most people have subscriptions, so they don't have to purchase at one time, but like I think 30 out of the 130 buy manually on the 15th, which you're welcome to do. Especially newbies, you know, that don't want a subscription because that's too big a commitment. You can just buy here and there on my website on the 15th. Okay, I will shut up now. All right, thanks for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you. And it could be of just like, say, your finger, if you're healing your finger, or it can be of everything, all your 17 auras and your physical body and your astral body. You create the copy with your intention. You don't have to see it yet. Clairvoyance usually kicks in the more you do this stuff. Anyway, so you have your copy out in front of you of your 17 auras, your physical body, your astral body, and then of both of your groundings. Astral body grounding and physical body grounding. So, speaking of grounding, let's do that. That's the first of the 4 essentials. We start off the healing with the 4 essentials just to get everybody situated and healed and repaired. So grounding, You can just recreate your grounding, make it big and wide as, say, the heel of the palm of your hand if you were to stretch out your arms. Because you want your grounding to be as big as all your auras. And hopefully your auras have so much of your energy and so much flow that they're that big. So, and bring your groundings up high as your third chakra. So your sternum bone is like right there, the center of your rib cage in the front there, and where your sternum bone ends, that's your third chakra. So bring your grounding up that high, make it red or orange or yellow. Grounding is both astral and physical, and wide. So high and wide, right? Red, orange, or yellow, both the same color, at least when you're awake, because you want your body and your spirit to be on the same page. It's not that you're losing your spiritual coolness, you are elevating your physical body to your spiritual coolness, so that you bring your special awesomeness into your daily life. So anyway, make a copy out in front of you of those two groundings that you just made, red or orange or yellow. And just unblock them. Just imagine any blocks and melt them with gold light from your hands. You generate, all chakras generate energy, and you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand and one in each fingertip. So that's useful. And you can set those hand chakras and fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color. And that way they generate a really nice energy that's good for healing yourself. Gold light. And you can kind of sweep together the energy blocks in your grounding, make a big pile of grossness, and just melt it all away. And if there's any sort of cloudiness in that or lumpy stuff that just doesn't melt, just say, angels, can you recycle all of this? Because there could be some invasive beings in there, which, I don't know, that could be kind of scary, I guess, depending on how you think about it, but you don't have to think about it that way. It's just teeny little things in your giant, so, just have your angels recycle. So again, sweep together all the junk that's in your grounding, that's in the way, and just burn it up with gold light, melt it away. Anything mushy, cloudy, movie, just have your angels recycle it. Angels, can you recycle all this? And just, chill out for 20 seconds while your angels do that. Take some deep breaths. So that's grounding and grounding unblocking. So then indie grounding, for that you check the outer perimeter of your grounding and you melt away any branch off parts, anything that's sticking out of your grounding. Melt away with gold light. It could be hard objects that someone threw. It could be just connections from your grounding to somebody else's that you made or somebody else made. So just melt all that away. That doesn't help anybody. Even if you have kids, it's more stabilizing for them to have their own grounding that does not link up into your grounding. It's certainly more stabilizing for you. That way you don't want to kill each other. So indie grounding, right? Gold light around the outer perimeter to melt away any branch off parts or hard objects stuck there. All right, good job. So then aura repair of 17 auras. So you imagine all your 17 auras out in front of you. In the healing description, which will be in the comment section later within a day, I will explain how it is that you have 17 auras. In case you need to look at that because it's perplexing. But you have a physical body aura, an astral body aura, and 15 auras called Wei Qi auras that help with strong boundaries. So they're all good, and you don't want rips in any of them, and that's why you do aura repair. you would get rips because people throw energy. People are a little mean. Subconsciously. Little resentful, little angry. So you can comb through all your auras and just use your intuition and vision and imagination and just figure out where the rips are, figure out if you do have rips. To repair them all at once, if you want, that's kind of efficient. You can just use a big composite copy of a rip, make a composite copy rip and have it represent, with your intention, have it represent all those rips that you need to repair, that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. And you fill up that rip with sticky gold wax, and that wax sticks to all the junk that's not you. And you lift it out as a lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, fill up your composite copy rip with sticky gold wax, and lift out the lump of junk. Angels, here you go. And you can just use so much gold light that it grows back, that the rips repair. You could still have some hard objects stuck in the way, like wedged in there. So lift out this hard objects. Angels, here you go. Lift out any hard objects in the way. Angels, here you go. That probably repaired most of your rips, but if you have a few left that still need repair, just make another composite copy rip, fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Again, this is a composite copy rip of your leftover rips that are still not repaired. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And then just grip any hard objects stuck in there, lift them out, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. If you have any invasive beings in the way, you can just say, angels, can you recycle any beings in the way of this repair? And then keep using gold light till the rips repair fully. All right, so then you can have leftover hardness in the outer surface or inner layers in a certain place somewhere. So that's aura scarring or aura bruising, and you can melt it all away at once. Just pile out in front of you piles of your aura scarring and your aura bruising, and use gold light to melt it away. And place more piles out in front of you of any remaining aura bruising and scarring that you have, and use your gold light to melt it away. Alrighty. So gold mesh spheres is another aspect of aura repair that we stick in these days, most of the time, if I remember. So gold mesh spheres are part of your Wei Qi auras. They are cool. They are how the Wei Qi aura is filled with gold light. Because Wei Qi auras, regular astral and physical body auras, they're generated by your major chakras along your spine. But Wei Qi auras aren't like that, and so their gold light is generated by these gold mesh spheres that surround you. So like there's each Wei Qi aura has an innermost sphere that is all around, and then a middle one, and then an outermost one, and they all generate gold light, and that gold light creates the whole nice poofy gold misty force field, but also that gold light gets sent inward to assist and support that particular body meridian that Wei Qi aura is supposed to support. So So it's useful. So we want to repair those mesh spheres. They're 15, 15, 15. And just look for rips, basically, and focus the gold light where you see rips. They'll be, like, for example, if someone threw something here, then AccuDot would probably have a rip, like in this mesh, these mesh spheres, these ones and these ones, like right in that area. So even though the hard object is gone, it could still be that these rips still exist, you know, and maybe there's some invasive beings in the way, so we get rid of the invasive beings and then just repair the rips. So we can do that too. So the angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? And you can just think of common places that you may have issues, like a headache, a certain part of your head hurts. You know, check for the gold mesh spheres in that area, you know, going out from there and repair them. If you usually have tummy issues, if you usually have shoulder tightness, you check the gold mesh spheres going out from there and repair them. All right, cool. So that's repairing the gold mesh spheres. I think that was pretty thorough. So then we'll just check the outer perimeter of all these 17 auras with more gold light to, you know, in case there are little teeny rips left over, and just repair those with gold light. Just don't want any leaks. Okay, so that's aura repair. The you know, the I have a bunch of time version. You know, if you don't have a bunch of time, just wham bam, repair your rips, move on with your day. So you can recreate your gold buffer zones. There'll be a video below explaining that in the comment section called gold buffer zones. Gold energy aura buffer zones. Which altogether now helps slow the rate of aura damage if you use them correctly. If you use them correctly. You recreate them often enough, basically. Okay, creative ring repair and unblocking. I don't like my hair like that. That's the problem when you look at yourself. I should just cover the camera. The problem is then, you know, if the camera's not filming right. Wait, I shouldn't cover it. I have to film. I should block my view of myself. That's not gonna help. Alright, whatever. So creative rings up here, 1, 2, 3. They're above your head of your astral body, and they are really good. They generate a lot of gold light in a really key location up there. So let's repair them and unblock them and melt cords going into them, and relax the flaps in them so they are more chilled and you can be more focused. Because if the flaps are open, the flaps look like this of your creative rings. Like if you were to look down on the top one and the flaps were open, that's what they would look like. But when the flaps are shut, it just looks like a gold ring with a nice smooth outer surface. So that's what you want, is the smooth outer surface when the flaps are closed, because then it's harder for people to cord you. So just make a copy of your 3 gold rings and just check for cracks, check for blown up parts. And just use so much gold light that it all repairs. Oh, You can even check for scratches, like the underside of them. You can flip over your copy and check the underside for scratches. And just melt away the scratches with gold light. You can just have like weird cloudiness, and that could be a person's energy or an invasive being's energy. You don't have to worry about which it is. You can just say, angels, can you recycle these beings, in case there's a bunch of beings. If it's a bunch of people, just, you know, melt the cords going to those people with gold light. So you can turn your copy back over. It's just a copy, but you know. You can clean out the inside of the rings, like maybe the gold bottle brush. Give that dirty bottle brush to your angels. Angels, here you go. Make another gold bottle brush. Angels, here you go. Melt cords going into your rings. If you have beings messing with your creative rings still, they could be courting from afar. You say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? And angels, can you recycle all these beings? Sometimes it's like a bunch are messing with you, and then you recycle those, and then check again. Because it could be like now there's a sort of an opportunity, and so these beings are like, oh, well, I didn't fit in that area before, but now I fit in because those other beings are gone. You know, so it's not that you messed up if you have to request several times. It's just like different groupings of them that you're getting recycled. If you have people cording your creative rings, just melt the cords and just say, hey guys, go have a good day. Hello, hello. Go talk to your angels about karma. Karma's a real thing, just saying. Karma, karma, karma. All right, good job. So that was creative ring repair and unblocking, including relaxing the flaps, including scrubbing out the inner surface, which we used gold bottle brush this time. That was kind of cool. All right, hope you enjoyed it. So chakra repair and unblocking. Let's do that. I usually don't read comments during the healing because it's distracting, but this one's funny. The angels say read it. So, hello from Ottawa, Canada. I have extreme anger started about these specific healings. It started at number 2, the second healing 2 days ago. I've never had angry thoughts like I hate Janet healings. I'm very sorry about this. It's okay. You're not that good at whacking, so it hasn't affected me. Every once in a while I get a client that's like incredibly good at punishment, and that's a problem. And sometimes I have to stop working with people because of that. But those are extreme cases where they just like, these people are like really good at destroying somebody's space. You have to be really good to make an impact with me. I mean, not good. It's bad karma, of course. But you know what I mean? So, but I mean, you have been whacking me on a subconscious level about these healings, but it hasn't impacted me at all. So don't worry about it. I mean, it's not good karma for you, but it didn't hurt me. So there's that. But anyway, it's okay. It just means, you know, like people hate their therapists, you know, on and off. You know, it's just a thing. You're working your personal issues, and they get projected out to the person that is bringing those issues up for you. You know, I think that's called transference. I don't know. It was a long time ago that I took like a small number of psychology classes. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Projection, maybe that's more appropriate word. But yeah, anyway, so it's possible that you hate me on and off as an energy healing teacher. And I mean, you know, if I really did something wrong, then I get it. I would address that. I'm not trying to be callous, but obviously, you know, if you just get repressed anger issues maybe towards a maternal figure or a mother figure or something triggered, then, you know, that'll flare up from time to time, which is understandable and normal, actually. Normal meaning it happens. So, but that's probably belt meridian stuff. Yeah, that belt area. So if we don't redo it today, you can go back and do it. I believe it's at 1:25:55 because I had to write it a couple times for somebody else, other people in comments. So 1 hour, 25 minutes, 55 seconds in Healing 2 is where we did the belt meridian work. And that's where, you know, probably deep-seated repressed anger is just festering away. That got stirred up a little. So you can just imagine like your flowy belt and just, it's not so flowy right now. And just imagine the chunks of like, I hate Janet. That's really like, I hate mommy. You know, and just melt away the I hate mommy chunks and the I hate Janet chunks and whatever else kind of hate chunks. Because, you know, that's so not fun and it derails your energy in your day, and who wants that? So anyway, so that was a little teeny belt work just for fun. But let's go back to chakra repair. So I'll timestamp link that little aside about hate and projection and the belt area. Fun stuff. Okay, so I'll have to timestamp link that. I'll figure out when that started. Okay, so now, well, actually that was probably right when I said chakra repair. So there we go. Okay, so then now we're doing chakra repair 4 minutes later. Chakra repair. Okay, great. So we're gonna repair and unblock all your major and minor chakras at the same time. It'll be fabulous. So you make a composite copy, something like this, you know, but of energy. It doesn't have to be yellow though. And it's just an open cylinder shape, right? And because that's the basic shape of all your chakras. They just vary in size. But so you just use gold light and you repair all your major and your minor chakras. Your intention is that this copy represents all your major and minor chakras. And then you go ahead and use gold light and melt the cracks and melt any missing chunks or gashes, you know, just repair all that and melt the energy blocks inside and around. And chakras do have flaps also around the outer round opening right there. So those flaps can be sticking out because somebody's cording, sending energy. It like puffs out the flaps, which makes it easier for other people to cord you too. So we don't want that, right? So just melt cords going in. They're usually a pair from one person. So if 3 people are cording you, it'd be 3 pairs of cords. You don't have to worry about that though. Just use gold light and melt them all. You don't have to count them. It's just for your geeky edification. So gold light, melt away the cords so that the flaps can relax. So then this outer surface will be smooth. There won't be any flaps sticking out. So then your energy can go in and out, but it'd be harder for people to cord. And it's okay, you know, if people, I mean, when you're veering from non-judgment, there's no good or bad, right? So these whacks, you know, the damage that was under your chakras, it's not good, it's not bad. Maybe you got into a fight with somebody, you know, they got too triggered by what you said or something, they did some destruction to your chakras. It's okay. Don't get into like a you're good, they're bad, or whatever. You know, that's not really your problem, right? Just nobody's good, nobody's bad, just repair. Just heal. It's okay. You know, you can clear out of your chakras, you can clear guilt, clear shame, clear expectations. We talked about expectations in the last set. You know, people can have expectations that they handed you in your space. So just melt those away. Melt away expectations from other people that might be in your chakras. Just imagine them like chunks. Just melt them away. And you could have, you know, resentments, repressed anger, repressed sadness, all sorts of stuff in your chakras. Repressed grief. Grief can be stagnation in many chakras. So there's nothing bad or good about it. Just melt away the stagnant energy that's healthy and gentle for you to melt away right now. You know, positive change is more fun, right? So just melt away the stuck stuff so you can have more positive change. Just keep it simple. Melt away the stuck stuff because positive change is more fun. Melt away the cords. There you go. Take a couple deep breaths into all your major joints. Move your toes and fingers. Was on the maybe pile, but I'll do some quickly. The pressure point devices, I talked about them a little bit in the intro today, and I talked about them, well, we did them, we repaired a whole bunch of them in Healing 2 days ago. Pressure point devices, although I didn't call them that then, I called them just astral body devices or astral body blocks. Pressure point devices. So the particular one I want to do, we did 4 different sort of patterns of pressure point devices yesterday, 2 days ago. The one I want to do is, it's like a triangle where the upper point of the triangle is the base of the skull right in the center there, where that indentation is in your head. So that's the top of the triangle, and then the bottom 2 points of the triangle are where your shoulder muscles meet your neck muscles meet your shoulders. So 1 point there and 2 points here. And that's a pressure point device, meaning that it's common for, it could be family members, it could be other people too, but it's pretty commonly family members. You can have hard objects or just hard, like, dumped energy in those places in your astral body. So base of skull, and then the 2 points where the neck muscles meet the shoulders right there. And I just surround that in gold light and melt them away. There can be invasive beings in the way that are courting and just not liking that you're clearing all this. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings courting this area or messing with me in any way, can you recycle them? And again, the triangle is like back of head, base of skull, right there in the center where there's an indentation in the base of your skull. That's 1 point, and then where the neck muscles meet the shoulders. So you can be like nails, you know, white nails or black nails, you know, just nailed in there. So just lift out the nails. Angels, here you go. Use gold light. Because you want to remove so much junk that then you're there. Your energy is there and flowing. Right? So just imagine some junk there. It could be from past lives too. It doesn't have to be from your family in this life. You can remove it all at once from all 3 points with gold light. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Gold light. You can bring up red earth energy directly from the core of the earth into these points. Yay. So that is certainly one of my favorite pressure point devices to remove, or areas to unblock, so that you can be a lot more present that way. You can like look at that triangle area, like make a mini you, right? And then look from afar and see if there's like clouds of beings like cording there, or groups of people cording there. The people, you just uncord their cords and be like, hi, karma's real, see you later. Have a good day. And then the being, you can say, angels, can you recycle these beings? So again, imagine the triangle area like a little mini you, and then people, beings, angels, can you recycle the beings? People, just, you know, angels. Can you go talk to your angels, guys? Have your angels help you. There you go. And just, you know, fit in, come on in, you know, into your legs, into your hips, into your shoulders, your head. Breathe in. So that was the triangle one, the up pointing triangle one, base of skull. And then where the neck meets the shoulders. So the belt one we should probably do, just because I alluded to it, you know, like a couple minutes ago before chakra repair with that comment, you know, about repressed anger. And again, that it is a legitimate phenomenon. Like when they train psychologists, they'll be like, yeah, your clients will hate you sometimes, you know. So it's something to be ashamed of if you hate your therapist, or you hate your you know, like part of you hates your therapist, or part of you hates your energy healing teacher, or even a friend who points out something to you that you're just not ready to deal with at the time. You could hate them, you know, temporarily, hopefully temporarily. But you know, it's that's just how repressed anger works. It just projects into a current situation. And a lot of people, they live their whole lives that way, and they don't realize what's going on, and so everything pisses them off, and they just think the whole world is filled with assholes. And it's like, well, you know, maybe there's a grain of truth in that. But beyond that, it's just your repressed anger projecting into everything, and recreating scenarios, and, you know, attracting conflict, and giving you sort of, you know, rather than rose colored glasses, you have like asshole colored glasses, so everyone looks like an asshole. So anyway, the belt area is really good to work for stuff like that, to get to things. Previously, we've done deep thought healing, which is really nice for that too. So that's another option. You know, one thing might feel more approachable than the other. Who knows? But anyway, let's do belt area. So that was belt area explaining / side story. explaining it away about repressed anger and how that works, repressed emotion in general. Repressed guilt is a big deal. Repressed grief. Really, that's why grief is so bad for everybody. Because, I mean, even if you didn't have built up grief from all the other grief times that you're not over, grief would be a big deal. But grief is like an extra big deal for everybody because they don't finish clearing all the old grief. So then it like becomes this mega grief that it feels like it's only about the current situation, but it's not. It's about all the unprocessed grief they have not dealt with from this and past lives. But anyway, so let's deal with that. Healthy and gentle though. Okay, intention, healthy, gentle. Angels help me do this healthy and gentle. Right? So you only want to do what's healthy and gentle, but your belt area, it's like if you imagine it sort of a relaxed belt that like sits on your hips and like goes forward a little in the front. That's where your belt meridian is. I think maybe they call it girdle meridian, but girdle meridian, that's silly because a girdle is something different. So whatever. But in traditional Chinese medicine, there is a meridian that wraps around there. So you don't have to, yeah, you could imagine the meridian itself. But anyway, or just an area, that area, and you want the flow to, like you want it to flow and look and see what is hard and unflowing that is healthy and gentle to get rid of. Because you can just set your awareness to only be aware of what's healthy and gentle to get rid of, so that way you don't have to worry, right? So just find some hardness then and lift it out of your belt area. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Find the hardness in your belt area, lift it out, and you can just melt it with gold light too. So find some hardness in your belt area. Maybe it's old sadness, old grief, old anger, and just melt it away with gold light so it fully dissolves, right? Find some old anger, old sadness, old whatever, and I just melt it away so it dissolves. That way it doesn't have to project into your current life, and you'll be less likely to create new conflicts and create new dramas, and you'll tend to, I mean, it's not that you won't have emotional reactions anymore, but they'll be less giant and much more moderate because you won't have the old stuff attaching to the new stuff. All right, so what are we doing? We are doing the belt area, baby, of your astral body, but you can do astral and physical body at the same time too. Or you could compare how flowy is your belt area of your astral body and how flowy is your belt area of your physical body. And then you can just, if one really needs it way more than the other, I guess you could do that one only, and then alternate, but I'm going to do both at the same time. So I'm just you can imagine one copy that is both the astral and physical body belt area. You want it to flow. So look for the stuck stuff. And melt it. And say, angels, help me do this. That's good. And if this is the part where you totally fall sound asleep, that's okay. Don't blame yourself. It's fine. It's recorded, so you can do it later. If you're like totally freaked out and you don't want to do this at all, that's fine too. Just say, angels, help me with this in my sleep if I need it. That way you'll work on it in your sleep, which is way better than doing nothing. Way more useful than doing nothing. More productive. You could do both. Do it now and do it in your sleep with your angels. Alrighty. So if you've done enough healthy and gentle, you can do a little side stretching. See how that feels. See if it feels different. It could actually be that you feel more tightness there than you did before when you do a side stretch because you're more there, you're more present, or you could just have less tightness there because you did clear a bunch just now. So obviously doing it in a chair is not the best way to do a side stretch. You could Google yoga side stretch. But do them, you know, do them gently with knowledge of your physical limitations. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Oh, right. Cool. So that was belt area explaining and doing, which I'm going to have to figure out the timestamps on that. Okay, cool. So there are other pressure points, like we did just the bar of points, like just at the base of the skull, and then we did we did belt area that connects to the first chakra. Oh yeah, we have to do that. That one was so cool, because that. So if your recurring issues come up and they tend to be accompanied by a lot of fear, then you may have some devices around your belt area that connect into your first chakra. So there'll be like a hard belt, and then there's, you know, like cables going to your first chakra and some kind of hard thing around your first chakra. So just lots of gold light and lift it all out and melt it all away. So this is belt area plus first chakra restriction. So just, you know, look for the cabling or whatever that connects the belt thing to the first chakra thing, and just gold light, lift it all out. Angels, here you go. Whoa! Be present, take some deep breaths, take a break whenever you need it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, so belt area and first chakra, baby. To the extent that's healthy and gentle, right? And just melt it, take it off. Angels, here you go. So for example, if calls with a certain person usually make you very anxious, and then you start thinking of all your old issues, it could be that they're courting this belt area first chakra device. And so that just makes everything more stuck than usual even, because now they have their energy running through the whole mess. So gold light, surround it around the belt area device, and the cables going to your first chakra if they exist. And just loosen it all up and lift it out. Angels, here you go. Because it's a lot easier to have strong family boundaries, healthy family boundaries, if people are not able to trigger fear in you. You know, so if you remove these devices, these restrictive devices around your first chakra, you could just have first chakra devices too that people are courting. So just loosen those up. Angels, here you go. Loosen up any hard restrictive devices around your first chakras, astral or physical. Loosen those up with gold light, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Loosen up your astral body or physical body first chakra devices. They could be like hard clamps around them, or like grippy things in the front or the back. Loosen them up with gold light. Angels, here you go. Loosen them up with gold light. Angels, here you go. Again, this is to the extent it's healthy and gentle. You want your first chakra to be flowing and generating a lot of energy, so it can generate your courage and fill up your first layers with courage. Red courage, ideally. So do you have family boundary baggage in your first layer or your first chakra? So first layers, astral or physical. So first layer is the one closest to your body, right? So just imagine those first layers, and of course they do wrap all the way around, even below your feet and above your head and side to side. So first layer is the one closest to your body, your astral body and your physical body. So you have two first layers. Just imagine them and just look for any hardness, especially from family members or past life family members, or, you know, exes or ex-mother-in-laws or whatever. Any kind of family junk. And surround it in gold light. You can melt it right in place if you want with gold light. Or you can surround it with gold light, loosen it, lift it out. Angels, here you go. A couple deep breaths. Just breathe into your hips, into your knees, into your feet. Okay, cool. So that was removing. So first we did belt area stuff, and then we did belt and first chakra area stuff, hardness removing. Then we did just first chakra devices and removing those. Astral and physical at the same time. All right, so let's see. Inner child, healing inner child. Let's get to that, baby. Okay, so I had said in the intro that your inner child could be waiting for love and approval from certain family members and not receiving it, and therefore kind of stuck. So it could be that the family that you chose in this lifetime, because you chose them and they chose you. I mean, your your older siblings didn't really choose you because they were there first and then you showed up. But your younger siblings technically chose you because you were part of the package that they then agreed to, be a part of. So, but, whatever. Your parents chose you and you chose them for sure in heaven before, during life planning. So you chose this genetic family. And you chose to date whatever person that you dated and, all that. So, not to blame the victim if it was not a fun experience, but just to say that, the whole bring up the learning, what can you learn? And sometimes, you learn because your needs were not met by these people. And the good news is that you can heal these parts of you. Some of them are inner child parts, most often, that are still waiting for these people to fulfill your needs. Because if you're waiting and waiting, it's, you're not living your life as much. It keeps your energy sort of stuck. So let's imagine the little inner child, adorable little inner child parts of you that are waiting for love and approval from, it could be from a past life partner or past life family member or this life family member. So just imagine, like, to the extent that's healthy and gentle, imagine the number of little inner child yous that are waiting for love and approval. And then imagine them out in front of you at enough distance that you're not freaking out, that it's okay. You see them, you're like, hi, you deserve a healing and I'm going to do that. Then just bring up red earth energy and give them all nice red earth energy directly from the core of the earth, and then gold light, nice gold light. And this isn't a group healing because you're healing yourself. So it's just you healing yourself. It's just self-healing. So it's very safe. So lots of gold lights, heal all these mini yous that are waiting for love and approval, and just be like, hey, I'm sorry. These people, they're just not able to do what you need. And so it's okay. We can heal and be whole anyway. It's all right. It's not your fault that these people are not able to meet your needs. It is not your fault. It just is what it is. These people are not capable of meeting your needs, and that's okay. That's okay because you're strong and I can heal you, and it's all going to work out. Right? So you're healing these little parts of you. And you can say, angels, can you help finish up healing these parts of me? And again, just healthy and gentle, just enough that you can, have a successful day and not, stop your life because you healed too much. And just breathe. Because what happens is, as your angels, maybe you already finished up the healing, and so those little mini yous pixelated, and now they're just a part of you, and you're all healed with that. But maybe your angels finished it up, and so then your angels help to finish the healing, and then you get the energy back. So the little parts of you are no longer separate; they're just a part of you. So you still have innocence and everything, but you're not stuck waiting as like 3-year-old you for somebody to give you permission to have a fun life. You know, you can give yourself permission to have a fun life. So, so that was healing inner child, the ones that are waiting for love and approval. From family members, partners, etc. So now let's do flower healing of yourself, just for yourself. So really validating flowers for yourself so like you're basically approving of yourself. You're giving yourself the love that you were looking for from other people. Just give yourself extra, right? So you can make energy healing flowers, or I don't know if you don't like flowers, make them balls of color or whatever. But out of universal healing energy, and make it like gold and or rainbow colors, whatever. Don't worry about the color. You don't have to worry about it. But just make it of the vibrations of love and approval and kindness and validation that you need, self-nurturing that you need, and just say, angels, can you check my flowers, make sure they're okay for you, and then give them to yourself. So let's do that again. Make energy healing flowers for yourself, all the love and approval and kindness and gentleness and encouragement and self-healing and nurturing that you need right now. And so angels, can you check these flowers and give them to yourself? All right. So there you go. Flower healing for yourself. So to give yourself the love, approval, kindness, nurturing, self-healing, etc. All right, good job. Pat yourself on the back. Let's see. I'm going to look at a sample person for a minute, so I'll be quiet. Oh, yeah. That was quick. Okay, so courting inner wounds. So I had mentioned in the intro discussion of this live stream that if you have already, repaired your chakras and you've melted cords and you've repaired your auras and you've unblocked your grounding and you're like, I still have this person super in my space, I'm thinking about them all the time. It could be that they're courting your inner wounds, and inner wounds are like rips within you. And so it's not really your aura. It's sort of like, your heart and your soul kind of thing. And so you can heal those inner wounds, especially the ones any ones that you want, but especially the ones that the person is courting at the time. So then there's nothing for them to court. So let's do that. And that way, these more persistent, more challenging boundary issues, maybe that could help you make a big step forward with that. Okay, so put in front of you slashes that represent all the inner wounds that your family members, your ex's family, past life people are courting. Past life people probably aren't still courting you though, because they're in heaven or they're in another life, and so that's probably not happening. But anyway, that anybody's courting. How about that? Imagine slashes up in front of you representing any inner wounds that anybody is courting, and or anyone commonly courts, and just lots of gold light and melt away those inner wounds. Just use the gold light, paint the slashes with gold, and let them melt away. Paint, 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 melt, melt, melt. It's like a little coloring exercise. So, and you can do just any inner wounds that aren't even being courted, you know, just inner wounds that cause you to be less courageous in your life or cause you to wait, you know, we were talking about that, you know, waiting and studying instead of living your life and kind of jumping in. So maybe there's some inner wounds that cause you to be that hesitant, right? So just put those inner wounds out in front of you and just melt away, heal those inner wounds that are causing you to be so hesitant. Okay, so that was two things actually. It was healing inner wounds that people are courting, but then also a surprise addition was healing inner wounds that make you hesitant to live your life. So we healed those two. So good job. How about that? That was a good 3 minutes. So that was something on my definite list. Oh, yeah. So going back to the healing inner child stuff that we did maybe 12 minutes ago. So we did the healing inner child so that you don't have significant parts of you waiting for somebody to give you the love and approval and support that you need. And you may have to do that multiple times over time, you know, to get them all. Because ideally would only do so much at one time. You know, you want to have a healthy, gentle pace, right? But anyway, so there's that. So that you're not waiting for these people to heal you anymore or be a certain way with you anymore, because why would they not be capable of it? Well, they could be spiritually much younger than you, or they could just be so blocked and so damaged themselves that it's just impossible that they would be able to give you what you need. So having clarity about that can really help. Having clarity and non-judgment about that. Like, for example, say you're going through a hard time and you really need, like, you called up your brother and you really need him to help you, or you called up your cousin or your parents and you really need them to help you, you feel, and they say, no, go away, right? So that it can be really triggering, you know, like sort of a very core sense of rejection and abandonment, and it could trigger a lot of anger, right? That could really just waste your energy at a time when you need to figure out what to do next. And okay, you can't get help from that person, what do you do, right? You know, so having clarity and non-judgment about, you know, okay, person XYZ, they're not able to, you know, meet my needs, right? So I need to create a different solution, right? And so a lot of people lose so much energy for like decades because, you know, somebody didn't help them at a key time, or somebody didn't, you know, they just weren't supportive or whatever. And it could be that they're severely imbalanced and whatever, and maybe their actions were technically abusive and they'll pay for that karmically later in some other life probably. But I mean, they'll definitely pay for it karmically, but perhaps not till another life. But if you have clarity and non-judgment about it, then you can move forward, you know, fully. Like it doesn't have to, you know, be like a rock in your heart that you carry with you, you know, for the rest of your existence. Because if you don't clear the resentment in this life, it follows you to the next life and turns into something else yucky, potentially with somebody else. So it's really good to clear this stuff and just have clarity and non-judgment. Because without the non-judgment, everything sticks. So, I mean, you can sort of switch gears though and be like, yeah, that was kind of a, you know, a jerk thing to do. I'm cleaning up my language, but you can be like, yeah, that was a really jerky thing for that person to do. And okay, that's a judgment, you know, but then you can click out of it and be like, yeah, you know what? It's just, there's no way he's able to deal with my reality right now. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, it triggers too much within him and he's just not willing to deal with it. He's not the kind of guy that deals with stuff like that. You know, it's just, his answer, you know, it's like, it just try to get a more rational, it is what it is kind of vibe with it, because then it's much easier to clear the baggage and have that non-judgment and just sail on, you know, just sail on, sail forward. So let's clear baggage so that you can do that, because the opposite too is sometimes people, they're with people that can't meet their needs, and so they keep trying to change themselves to be the person that that person wants, you know. And that could be like a father, like this one client, you know, her father cannot give her the love and approval that she needs. Her father loves her for sure, but he can't give her the vibrations that she's really looking for, because it's just, you know, that's just not, he's not at all anywhere near that vibrational range. So subconsciously she tries to change herself and be what he wants her to be, but it's so contorting that it makes it harder for her to clear her own issues, like her own fear issues and her own, you know, whatever. And so, because if you're trying to be something for somebody else, particularly someone you care about, if you're trying to like distort yourself, it's really taxing and imbalancing. It makes everything else harder. So that was a big explaining, wasn't it? So I have to figure out the timestamp like for that, but that was explaining that whole clarity and non-judgment. So what we're going to do is not like journal about it for 20 years and take 15 years of therapy. I mean, although you could do therapy because sometimes it's very useful, but we're clearing it with energy blocks. So it's quick and it's largely subconscious perhaps, which is fine. It's good enough. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you. This is the doing part. And we'll do it with blanket exercise. And then I think we'll wrap up really soon, hopefully. But make a big old blanket out in front of you and just put on it any baggage that you have that makes you unclear about who can meet your needs and who can't meet your needs, who's compatible with you, who's not. Like even your siblings, you know, are they able to be a person that you would feel is kind and respectful? You know, like there's a certain range you're looking for. Just don't even have to think about each person. Just put the baggage out in front of you that's obscuring your clarity about your relationships, present and past. And just any baggage that's blocking your clarity on any level, right? And then any baggage that's causing you to be stuck in judgment, right? And just melt it away. You could blow it up too if you want, or you can just use gold light and melt it. So again, this is clearing baggage that is causing you to lack clarity or to be stuck in judgment about family members or people that you've had a relationship with in the past or you have a relationship with now, even past life people. We'll do one more round of that. Big gold blanket out in front of you. Just put on the blanket with your intention any baggage that, or copies of any baggage, that's the same difference. Any baggage causing you to have less clarity about the situation. You know, is your mother able to meet your needs? Is that even realistic for this lifetime? You know, and just put all that baggage out in front of you. Anything blocking your clarity, right? Anything blocking your non-judgment. Because if you have non-judgment, you can just see the facts and, you know, work on being whole and living a full life. So any blocks to your non-judgment, any blocks to your clarity, put them out in front of you and just melt them with gold light or blow them up. If you have any left over, just wrap them up in the gold blanket, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? So let's wrap up with a tricolor soak. That's nice and simple, but pretty effective. It kind of plunges out your grounding. It gets everything releasing again. So nice tricolor soak. So recreate your groundings. Both of them, make them red, any shade of red you like. Use them like red straws. Bring up red earth energy. Up, 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 up. Fill up with red earth energy all the way up. Soak everything, chakras, auras, bones, muscles, nose, with red earth energy. And then bring that down to the level of your grounding and set it to orange, your favorite shade of orange if you want, and bring up orange earth energy. Up, 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 up. Soak everything in orange earth energy. All your auras, your chakras, your energy channels, everything. Your bones, your muscles, your organs, orange earth energy. Deep breath. And then you can bring that down and do yellow earth energy. Just reset your groundings to be a shade of yellow and bring up yellow earth energy. Up, 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 and fill everything up with yellow earth energy all over. Soak everything in yellow earth energy. Couple deep breaths. Breathe into all your major joints. And you can leave that up. It's called an earth energy soak, and you can change the color to red or orange or yellow and just leave it up if you want all the time. It's fine. Or you can bring it back down to the level of your grounding and change it to whichever of those three colors you prefer right now. And then to wrap up, we'll just say, angels, can you please give me a healing? Angels, please help me to wrap up. Angels, please help me to keep moving forward with my healthy family boundaries. All right, good job, good job, good job. You're amazing. All right, so we are done. And so I'll just glance at the comments. Mostly I'll look for comments of like how the healing was for you. How are you doing right now? Just, you know, that's nice to read at the end. But if it's a question requiring me to look at your energy, just post it under the video. As soon as the live stream is done, you'll be able to post under the video, or you could post under any video at any time. And I will post my reply when I have a chance under your comment. Okay. So, let's see. Someone says, hello from Northern Ireland. Hello to you. Someone says, I healed myself. How did it go? How did it go? If you want me to look at your energy, just post under the video, and I'll take a look later when I can. I used to do big Q&As after the healings, but I stopped doing that because it was just too much on me, you know, because they're big healings for me. So, but you know, I'm happy to take a look and just, you know, some other time, just post it under any video at any time. I'd be happy to do that. Someone says, I was sad when you cleared baggage that was blocking clarity, but all this makes so much sense. Excited to repeat this healing tomorrow. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, well, you know, there could be past life baggage that gets triggered, current life, childhood stuff that gets triggered. You never know. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's like 10% sadness about something current, but then it's 90% sadness from old stuff, and it all just feels the same. It all feels like it's about now. So just clear, clear, clear. Keep clearing. So it says, thank you so much for this healing set. I got a couple things done while listening and thinking of scenarios that I needed to clear out. Well, good for you. So it says, wow, what a healing. Thank you, Janet. Loved the clarity work and the triangle belt work. I really felt the triangle stuff. Oh, yeah, triangle from the base of the skull. There's a mosquito. I missed him. Darn it. I really felt the triangle stuff, yeah, from the base of the skull to the shoulders. Yeah. Cool. Well, we could have done more about waiting versus studying life, but I think because we triggered it so much and then we did the healing and we cleared so many blocks in so many different ways that we covered it. So that's cool. And two, you know, we're doing 2 more healings in the twin set coming up, so that's exciting. All right, well, cool. So I'll just show my doggies at the end, and I hope July has been okay for everybody so far. If not, I hope you can heal yourself and get things turned around. So here is, we call him Little Man when we don't want to say his name. So there's Little Man doing a nice little stretch for us. It's kind of cute. And over there, we call him Good Son when we don't want to say his name out loud. His name is A-B-E-L, spelled A-B-E-L. He's very calm right now. It's funny because before the live stream, he was like walking around, following me everywhere, walk. I thought he was going to do it the whole live stream, but I guess he tired himself out. Tired himself out being so crazy the hour before the live stream. All right, well, cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're okay. You're awesome. And if you want, there'll be 2 more healings, a whole different twin set. So we'll do it in a cool, different way. Starting in 5 days on Sunday, and in 4 days on Saturday. That's the 15th. When September healings will go up on the website at a set time. And they sell out, you know, it varies. Sometimes they sell out in like 20 minutes. Sometimes they sell out in like, you know, an hour. And then the twin set maybe, sometimes the twin set can take a day to sell out, but sometimes it sells out really fast too. So, you know, if you're ready right when they go up, that's the safest bet. Okay, you guys are amazing. I got some extra comments. Thanks for information about people courting inner wounds. Yes. I'll keep repeating that. Someone says, I have many pressure devices. I'll listen to this video again. Oh, good. Yeah, most people do. They're cool. They're cool to remove. Yeah, and it's just a shame I didn't call them pressure devices in the last healing, because the last healing we did all of them in healing number 2, but I didn't call them pressure devices. I just said astral body devices / energy blocks. Last minute question, how does your garden grow? That's funny. Yeah, that one I'll answer because it's not a reading. It's good. It's good. It's a work in progress, you know, obviously. There's a lot that I still need to plant, and I'm so lucky because like today and tomorrow are really mild, so I'll be able to plant, because apparently like I'm learning all of this stuff. You know, I wasn't really I wasn't a gardener until like the last few years, and so I didn't know. Like I have all these seedlings that I grew from seed, but then seedlings don't like being planted out in the garden when it's like really hot out. They all just die, you know, like, which is heartbreaking, you know. But, you know, if it's a mild temperature, you know, like, and it's cloudy, that's even better. Then they don't die. But if it's hot and sunny, then you have to try to shade them, you know, for a couple of days, which I did not know. So I put out all these really nice, like, flower starts, and they just, like, half of them just, like, evaporated, you know, like from some movie, you know, where there's a nuclear bomb and everybody just evaporates. That's what happened to my plants. I mean, not all of them, but, you know, some of them. And, you know, like, I mean, I planted like 6 of these cool flowers, and like 3 of them just, you know, evaporated the next day. And then I transplanted these nasturtium volunteer plants that had regrown from last year's just seeds that were just naturally dropped. And I thought, well, I have so many in this one area, let me move some of them. And then, you know, as soon as I transplanted them, they just like, the sun zapped them and they died. So that was not fun. But I did do some planting in the last few days because it's been so mild, and those did not die instantly. So that's exciting. That's very exciting. So, but now I know that if I do planting on the days when it's, because I'll plant at night, because I'm thinking, well, okay, the night is cool, and then the morning is cool. So they'll have a little time before the heat of the day. But apparently, if it's like 80s and sunny, they're gonna get clobbered. Unless they're zinnias. Zinnias haven't done that with me. Most of them haven't been zapped by the sun. But anyway, so long story short, it's a work in progress. Some successes and some learning. But I have so many plants backed up that I need to plant. But I'm trying to just, enjoy the journey. If something lives, that's a good thing. If something dies, I tried. And we netted half of our blueberry bushes this year for the first time. Like we've had blueberry bushes out there. I think the first ones I planted maybe 3 years ago, and then I planted another row of them, and then I put that row next to the other one, so they're like mushed together. All these different kinds of blueberry bushes, because I didn't know you're supposed to have different varieties, so they cross pollinate, so you get a lot more blueberries. So I didn't know that before, but then, so anyway, so now to save space, like the second row of blueberries last fall, I moved them up, so they're like really close together to each other, which worked fine. And then I got more garden space. But anyway, so last year the birds ate all the blueberries, like before they were even ripe. We didn't get a single blueberry to eat at all. Which, we love the birds, so we were like, yeah, all right, it's not so bad, But, and it's a front yard garden, and I'm trying to keep it like kind of nice looking because it's an HOA, and, technically they could probably find some rule that outlaws my entire garden. So, but, so far I've gotten lots of compliments and no complaints, about my garden because I put in a lot of flowers. People like flowers. So, but anyway, so I got this really nice, it's not like fishing net with big holes, because I heard that like birds can choke themselves if they get their head in the net, the hole of it, then they can choke and die, which obviously is not what we want. So I got this netting that's like, it looks like sort of like wedding fabric, like tulle, and it's really good quality, and it just shimmers in the sunlight. It's really cool. So I use it to cover half the blueberry bushes this year, and so we're actually going to get blueberries this year. Knock on wood. Hopefully. So that's exciting. All right, so there you go. I could go on and on with my gardening stories, but I won't. That was enough. More than enough, I'm sure. So I understand if you didn't listen to the whole thing, and don't feel that you have to in the future if I'm going on about gardening and you don't care. All right, take care. Bye. If you have a garden, I hope your garden is going well too. And if you want to comment in the comment section about your garden, I would be happy to read it.